Oh, where is my?
Good afternoon, sir.
The skills what I have till now, like I have started the programming with web designing, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and after that I moved to web development. For web development, I had two choices. One is like PHP, JavaScript, and one is like Python. So because I am a Python lover, so I jumped into Python and learned Django. Django is a very good framework for web development, and various like multinational companies use this Django framework. So after that, I was thinking like I will explore some more different technologies. Like after that, I will choose in what technology I should master. So after that, I moved to Android development. So in Android development, I learned Kotlin, and I have done a few projects, but those are not like very good. So after that, I was not interested on Android development, so I back to Python. And for Python, I learned Python for data science like NumPy, Pandas, and some other libraries. And after that, I learned machine learning. I started my machine learning journey from my second year of the college, and after that, I like learned so many algorithms on machine learning, like supervised, unsupervised. After that, I moved to the NLP, natural language processing. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I will show you some of my projects in GitHub. So wait. Okay, so so here is my GitHub, and these are my repositories. I have done like I have more than 65 repositories in my GitHub. Everyone can see.
Yeah, everyone can see.
Okay, so there is so many projects that I have done in my last 1 year, and there is some of COVID-19 detector using machine learning, and some coronavirus ML prediction, After that, some Harry Potter invisible clock. It's on computer vision. Yes, I forgot one thing. Like some of my wait, some of my skills are computer vision also, because in last 6 months I have learned computer vision, and because this is very good technology, and currently I am working on that. So there is also some good projects over there, and some projects also in NLP text summarizer, NLP like spam detect detector using Flask. So Flask is one of the good framework in web development, like Django. Okay, so this is some of my projects, and you can also find me in LinkedIn. Here is my LinkedIn profile, Ankush Banik. If you search over there, so you will find my LinkedIn profile. You guys please can connect with me. And so this is whole about my like journey till second year, and I am like about to finish my second year journey, and I have explored some of the good technologies. And currently I am in deep learning and computer vision. Okay, so this was my intro, and right now I am currently moving forward to letting you guys know about our project. So our project, before that, I want to share my like a small story uh, behind the project idea. Okay, so some days before I went to a barber shop for cutting my hair, and after that I had to wait 2 to 3 hours, more than 3 hours. And I was thinking, like, what is happening right now? Because I don't have much time to spend in any barber shop or any saloon, so that is the main story. That is the main idea came in my mind, to like, what if we can build a barber shop appointment management system. Okay, so you guys probably thinking like there is so many this kind of application over there in Play Store. Yes, you are thinking right. But one more thing I want to add, like, you can find several things, like several application like appointment management system for barber shops, but this gonna be little different, because we are from AI background. That is why we are including AI in our this project. So how I'm telling you, like, if you come in front of camera, so what our model will do, our model will recommend you the best hairstyle suits on you. It doesn't matter you are a woman or man. It will work pro- accurately same to men and women. So if so what if, like, the model or the machine is predicting or like recommending you for you the best hairstyle that will suits on you. And after that, this is not the end. We will show them how you are gonna look like on that hairstyle. And this is because of our one of the great technology in AI, the computer vision, the image processing, digital image processing. So we will use this technology to show you how you are gonna look like. Okay, so this is our project, like barber shop appointment management system. And like, uh, so for there our project is divided into two parts. One is like scheduling part. Okay, so I forget. Okay, so after recommending the photos, you can also schedule your appointment by sitting your home only. Like, you no need to wait 2 to 3 hours by sitting on a saloon or like on a makeup parlor, and there will be some lines of people who are actually sitting over there. And the problem we are solving, like, you can schedule your appointment by sitting your home in your like free time. You can schedule anytime when you want. And you can also see the, like, if you are scheduling your appointment right now, so you can also see how many people are over there already in the line, and you can choose your perfect time to go there. So this is whole about the idea. And we are also considering the makeup parlor for the women. Like, for the women, they don't like. For men, the men go to the salon in every 15 days or 20 days, and they cut their hairs and all those stuffs. But for the women, they frequently go for hair cutting. Because this, we will also consider the mm makeup parlors or beauty parlors. So we will give you the options to make up yourself in a digital way. You can just choose the options what makeup you want, and after immediately you can see how you are gonna look like on that makeup. So this is the whole idea of the project. And in our project there is several teams working. One is data science, one is computer vision, one is Flutter team. And the teams are working very well. We have also a Slack channel on that. uh, Here is the Slack channel. And see, uh, how we meet with like Saurabh bhaiya. uh, I posted some days ago, in some couple of months ago, in my LinkedIn, like we are about to start one 60 days coding challenge group, where everyone have to code daily. And whatever technology it doesn't matter. But after that, the idea what came in my mind, and we started working on that. So there are we have our 3 to 4 core members. They are absolutely working very well in our community. And Saurav Bhaiya is also giving his best. So this is the whole idea of the project. And yes, this is the whole idea. And I think everybody got the idea. You can also find my GitHub repository over there in searching Ankush Banik 1 in GitHub. And also you can connect with me in LinkedIn. That's all.
Great. Thank you very much, Ankush, for sharing your opinions. I hope everyone can can listen. So Ankush is actually working on this idea with. I think he missed that there are around 70 participants that are working on this idea. They more than from all around the country. Means people who are working in Oracle as a full stack developer are also working on his idea, and this is all unpaid, doing for open source. Means we are doing it for the business idea is actually not open source, but the coding is almost open source that we have put, and we are putting it over in GitHub day by day, however we are progressing. And from the scratch means that the idea has now grown up to a startup idea. Ankush, me, and Abdul, Razim, and Sumit, these are the 4 core members are working on this idea to shape it into a business idea. Last year, if I tell you one story, after meeting Ankush, actually I found out that Style.ai is a company in Germany, and they raised around 320 million for this idea itself. It's we are right now just concentrating on version 1. The version 1 consists of the face values only, but there are 4 versions. 3 more versions will come one by one. Means it depends on the funding and all. So in those versions, we will be working on a complete fashion recommendation system, like which earring will look good on you, or which t-shirt on top will look good on you. Will show you that if you have seen that Myntra lets you get a digital trial of your clothes, whatever you want to buy. So that the same very way we are actually trying to build a system here. It was great that Ankush shared his experiences. Thank you very much, Ankush. Now you may, if you want to leave, you can leave. We will start with the classes. If anyone has any queries, then please connect with Ankush. He might be a good person to make you start from where he has started, which YouTube channels he learned from, and what was his track journey. Means this is very important, that the way he learned it over the past 1.5 years. As he mentioned that he started from first year in engineering. So that's very important, that how quickly and in which direction you move. Like he told that why he chose Python, why he chose Django, why he chose the data science and others. So this is what is important to understand. That's why I bring him in today, so that someone around you, someone you can relate to, that yes, he's also a second year student, he's also a learner, and from being learner, he means I always tell him, from being in second year engineering student to starting his own startup. This is what the tagline is for him. So that's very great. Thank you very much, Ankush. Okay. So now we will
Thank you,
see.
guys. If anybody have any queries regarding our project or something, you just contact with Saurabh Bhaiya, and he will give my contact. And if anybody wants to work on this project, it is a live project, it's a industry level project. So if anybody wants to work, and just share your skills, what you can do, and after that, there are several options for your career will open shortly. Thank you so much. I'm leaving now. So have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Kush. Thank you, Kush.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so now let's start with the things that we have in hand till now. Let me move to the things that we did yesterday, and shortly let me share the screen now first. Okay, okay, you guys can see the screen now. So okay. So we discussed about Python sets yesterday. Okay, we discussed that Python sets are unordered, unindexed, and has no duplicate members. In Python sets are written in curly brackets, and its values are changeable. Means it can be added, subtracted, or by converting into lists, its values can be replaced. But the replacement will be random. Okay. So we also discussed that curly brackets, when we see, it could be a sets or dictionary, as we have all till now learned. How we will discuss it today, the dictionaries, that what happens in the dictionaries, what is the difference in dictionary and in dictionary and sets, how we use dictionaries and other things. So we discussed this, we discussed that when we print it out, it gives random results to us, and then we discussed that you cannot access an item in a set because it is unordered and unindexed. We discuss about these methods, that is add, clear, copy, difference update, discard, intersection update, is this joins method, is subset method, is superset method, pop, remove, symmetric difference and symmetric difference update method, union and update methods also. So these all we learned about yesterday. Today these are all built-in methods. It comes with the Python, means it comes with the sets library of the Python. You doesn't need to do importing or something kind of things that you do in C or C++ or any other programming languages. That's the beauty of Python is. So let's move towards the next thing, that is Python dictionary. I hope no one has any questions till now. Okay, before moving that, yesterday I think someone was asking this question. Actually, I found out that this was the question that you put in the chat. I think Vishal put, or someone else put that in chat, right? So let's start from there first. Let's add another new cell. This was your question actually. Okay, you are saying that, sir, I have a question, but not about list or tuples. When I do this, it gives an output, but it's working. But when I use this code, it doesn't. It's not working. Can anyone answer that why it's not working? The first one is working. Like, let me do that. Let me put it here in another cell. Sorry. Let me put it here below it. If I run this code, it will ask me a number, and it will print out your number is 4. Int and character value cannot add. Exactly, Aman. This is what the answer is, Vishal. When you click this, you get an error that only can only concatenate str, not int or to str. See, because I will explain you again. Let's put another cell here and print type, and then print type A, means the number that you feed in. And if you will run this cell, it says that it is a str, and you are adding a string to a string. So this is possible. But in the very second step, this 4 is what? It's a, let's print the output of it also. Print type 4, sorry, B. If you put, it says class int, so you cannot add an integer to a string. That's why it's not working. You actually posed that question earlier, day before yesterday. I forgot to add this, and then I suddenly found out somewhere, so that where I, in the notepad, I have written. So this is what the answer is. You can add a string to string. This is what we discussed already in the classes, and here it is adding another string. So when you do a input, enter any number. So when you have put this as is in under inverted commas, so that's why it, whatever the value you feed in, it will be in form of a string. Okay, so this is what it is. Let me delete this. So it's because it's of no use. And let's come back to our presentation. Okay, so what should we do? We should do Shift F5. Shift F. Okay. So let's come to the Python dictionaries. Dictionaries, again, a collection which is unordered. Its values are changeable and are indexed, but their indexing is very much different. Someone has opened up camera, so please turn down. Okay. So in Python, dictionaries are also written in curly brackets, but they have keys and values. This is very important. This is what defines a dictionary. This is because of what the dictionaries are different from sets. As you can see, this is what the dictionary look like. Now, if you see curly bracket, now it's not a dictionary or set, it's a dictionary. So these are the keys, that brand and a model and year, and whatever is written before the semicolon is a key, and whatever is written over the right side of the column is the value of it. Means brand is Ford, model is Mustang, and year is 1964. So we can pair it out, like keys are brand, model, and year, and values are its values are Ford, Mustang, and 1964. So row underscore 1 has 3 keys, that is brand, model, and year, and has similarly 3 values, that is Ford, Mustang, and 1964. Okay, so now we understand that it is a dictionary. As you can see on the screen, it turns out to be a dictionary. Then we will now today discuss these all built-in dictionaries. Let's move towards that. Let's go to this. First, this is a general method by which you can define a dictionary, writing like this inside a curly bracket, that is brand, model, Mustang, and year. And if you print it out, it will print out like brand, inside a curly bracket, brand, that is the key, Ford is the value, model is the key, and Mustang is the value, year is the key, and 1964 is the value. Okay. Similarly, after this, you can also do the using this dictionary constructor, again using this dictionary. Note that the keyword are not string literals. There are 3 things that you should understand here. Note that the keywords are not string literals. Brand is not quoted under double quotes or single quotes. Values are quoted under double quotes. So these are string literals. This will be strings, and these will be strings. This will be strings, and this could be int also values. Okay. Note that the use of equal rather than the colon. Here we have used a colon to define it, but when you are using dict function to define using a dictionary constructor, what we are using instead of this colon, we are using equal to sign. And there is no two round brackets. You should remember that in list, in sets, in tuples, we use something like this. We use something like this, like two empty brackets and something inside it. It was for the least. Means if we write least, it will be least, and if it write tuples, it will be tuples, and same for the sets also. Okay, so tuples, not tuple actually. So this is important to remember while defining a dictionary in this method. There are 3 things that you should remember. You don't need to define the keys inside as a string, and there is no colon after the key. Key between key and value, there is just equal to sign, and there is no two round brackets. Okay. So it will also eventually print out the same results. As you can see, the brand, the brand is Ford, model is Mustang, and year is 1964. Same goes here. Now, earlier when we were defining things in list, what we used to do, we used to index it by the position using positive and negative indexing, like 0, 1, 2, or -1, -2, -3, -4, anything like that. But what happens when we try to access the things inside the dictionary, the things a little bit changes. Instead of using the zeros and one, what we can do is we can pass in the parameter, like we pass in the key. This is the key. We cannot pass the values. Okay, so when we pass in the key, like we have passed in the model, so from the dictionary one, the whatever is for models, whatever is for the models, what is for the models, it is Mustang. So Mustang is getting printed out, the value is saved into the X, and it is getting printed out. Okay, so X is now has a value of dictionary one's model values. So it is having the value of whatever is inside the dictionary with key parameter model. Similarly, you can do this for any other thing, like let's say year. So it will print out eventually year. Okay, the value remains the same, of the same type that it is. If it is a string, it will be a string type. If it's an integer, it will be an integer type. That will not change in here, because we are passing the parameter in double quotes. That's, you should remember. It will be the same the way it was defined inside the dictionary, because we are not changing any parameters. This way you actually save something. You save the parameters type actually. Okay, that's why a dictionary is widely used. After dictionaries, we will later come to another new thing, that will be JSON. Usually doesn't taught in the beginners classes. I will try to give a brief overview of JSON, not today, after some time. Okay. Another method that you can use instead of this method, using the square bracket and others, you can use the get method, like writing dict underscore one get method and passing the parameter inside round bracket. The same result will come out, that is Mustang. You can see the same. Okay, I've changed this from year to the model. So if I put the model again here, the output will be the same. See, the output is the same, that is Mustang here and the Mustang here. So this is just the way you access the items. So to access the item, what you have to mention? You have to mention the key parameter. The key parameter, if is defined in this method, doesn't have a double quotes. In this method, it has a double quotes. Here is a equal to sign. Here is a colon sign. And instead of curly bracket, there will be a single round bracket, not double round bracket, unlike list, sets, and tuples. Okay, so we get this value. Now if we want to change the value, suppose we want to change this value of 1964 to 2018. So what we will do, I think I haven't printed it out. So print one. So what will happen is this 2018 value will now be this 1964 value will be replaced with this 2018 value, and we can print out the new result as well. So you can see the year has changed from 1964 to 2018. Then len command, as usual, it works. It tells us there are three keys and three values into it. It is just actually measuring the key values, means how many keys are there. It could be null also. Suppose we pass in this here as nothing. So then remember that we have to use this double quotes, and it will be blank in there. So you can pass in there like this method also, and then it will not be there. If we remove this, sorry, we remove this, year is blank right now, and if we try to add it, 2018 will be there. So you can define the dictionary values with double quotes over there. Without double quotes, it will not work. Then the dictionary length item actually list out, means it counts the number of the keys into it. That is 3 here. So it will print out 3. Okay. Now let's turn to the adding of the items. Suppose this is a dictionary that has three parameter key values and three keys and 3 values. Brand Ford, model Mustang, and year 1964. Now we want to add color column into it. So what we will do? We will do this. Pass in the new parameter. If it's an old parameter, it will change the value. If it's a new parameter, it will add that parameter. So now it has a new parameter, new key and value pair, that is colors and red. Okay, similarly you can remove them using pop method. If we run this pop method, it will remove the models from it. Okay, remember there is no square brackets here, there is a round bracket here. Okay, this is how you remember the pop method. If usually you doesn't remember this round bracket where was square bracket, you can go and Google search it. That's not an issue. Usually programmers do these kind of mistakes. Initially you will do more of these mistakes. That's okay with you, but obviously you need to solve it and you need to know how to find out the correct syntax for it. So this is one method, that is pop method. Another method is pop item method. In pop item method, it will what it will do. We're trying very fast now because we are losing a lot of time behind. What will be the output? This pop item method, what it will do? Random pop. Remove the year. Okay, let's try it out. It is removing the year. Is it so that if we passing something, can we pass year into it? Can we do this? Or let's say brand. If we do this, what will happen? Remove the year. No, okay, you ask. What will happen if we pass in the brand parameter? Why error? No, answer is given on the screen now. Pop item takes no argument one given. Pop item, in the built-in directory, the pop item doesn't takes any argument. It is saying that it is not, it doesn't take any argument, but one was given, one argument was passed. So this is the syntax. It will eventually remove the last item always, that is the year it will remove. Okay, if there is color over here, then the color will be removed or something like that will be done. Okay, the pop item removes the last inserted item, remember. And version now, someone said this, random pop Aziz, if you are using something Python version less than 3.7, a random item will be removed instead. So be sure to check your Python version. Mine is 3.7.7 actually. So that's why I doesn't get I get removed the last item. If you are using something 3.5.4 or 3.6 below something, so in that Python version it will remove the random item. So that it is also correct. The random pop item is also correct, and removing the years are also correct. It depends on the version of what Python you are using. So this is one thing that you should remember. That's why I will tell you one thing, like one new message. Is it work like a stack? Yes, you can say that, Prajwal. It do work like a stack, but do not consider it like that. First in first out method. Do not think of it like that, because if you will think of it like that, then you never know that where you and how you actually inserted the item. So that way you can have problems with that. So don't think it like exactly like stack. Although it works like that, it may have some certain issues with it. Next, it's a good question, Brajpal Panwar. It's a very good question that you asked. It is work. Is it work like a stack? Because actually, you remember something, a word called stack. I don't know any one of you is from electronics background. They should know in microcontrollers, FIFO is a very important parameter. First in, first out. Okay, and I'm कभी उसकी classes लेना मजा आएगा. So now the delete keyword is, let's move to the next item, that is delete keyword. Let's actually run this command. I will move fast today, okay? So it is removing what? It is removing the model. We are trying to remove the model, so it is removing the model. No, actually it will remove model. You have passed the parameter, na? We are just trying to whatever the parameter is passed, it won't remove on random. No, only this pop item is removing at random. That too, if you are using a Python version before 3.7, that is using the version 3.6.3 or something like that, then it will only remove an item. Now it will not remove the random. It will, whatever is passed in the parameter, that is passed in the model, it will remove the model and print out the rest. That is a brand, Ford, Ford and year 1964. Another method that if you doesn't pass any parameter, it will, what it will do? What will the output of this? I'm eating some biscuits, so. Yes, it will be an error because it has deleted the entire dictionary and printing. We are trying to print out that dictionary. That dictionary doesn't exist now. Name dict1 is not defined. Understand that whenever you are programming, these errors that come in the last is, it is one of the key factor to solving your queries. When you are writing 200, 300 lines of code, the error that comes, you need to search for that, and it will make you understand that why is it happening. You need to read something, and it will eventually give you the output. Okay, so I hope you understand that we have not passed any parameter, so it is it was defined here in as a dictionary in these 4 lines. Then we deleted that dictionary, and a deleted dictionary doesn't exist now. So that's why when we're trying to print it out, it will give us an error. Okay, if we have used this print command before that, then it will first print out the dictionary, then delete that dictionary, and then after that the print command will fail because the dictionary has been removed and deleted entirely from this. Okay, then the delete command can also do the delete company if no parameters pass. This I have already written. The clear method, let's come to the clear method. What will clear method do? We have learned this all out. We have, it's almost the same. So what will be the output? Yes, empty dictionary will be an output. The type will not change. It will remain as a dictionary, but it will be an empty output now. Will it change the type? Will it or not? Actually, it was a question for you, but it will remain with the same format that it was. It doesn't changes the type, but it empties it. Okay, now we can copy, we can use the copy method as we use with the others. If we try to copy the one dictionary into another, so we just use dot copy method, and it copies the entire dictionary into that. There is another method that is dict method. What will this method do? It will also copy the dict1 into dict2. Yes, but there is one thing that I have written. Remember this: you cannot copy a dictionary simply by writing dictionary 2 is equal to dictionary 1. You shouldn't do actually, because dictionary 2 will now have a reference to dictionary 1. So whatever changes that you will make in dictionary 1 will automatically be made to dictionary 2. Okay, so you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't write like this. You shouldn't write like this. Okay, dictionary 1 is equal to dictionary 2 is equal to dictionary 1. So whenever, like if I pass in this parameter, okay, and if I change any value into dictionary 1, like from Ford it makes it Toyota, so what will happen is that dictionary 2 will have that value automatically. You doesn't need to define that. Sometimes it is used, sometimes it doesn't use, but there is no point of making two dictionaries with the same values. We actually are copying any value so that so that it can be later used. That's why we are using that now. Now let's end this quickly today till 4 o'clock. We have 10 minutes time, so we will end it that. Now let's come to the nested dictionary. This is very important. It is very important. What we are trying to do here is we are writing that my family is equal to what? There is one curly bracket. Then we are writing child and then another new curly bracket is here. You can see this. So actually this child 1 is a dictionary and it is inside my family. Then child 2 is a dictionary and it is inside a dictionary. Dictionary 1 is equal to child 1, dictionary 2 is equal to child 2, and dictionary 3 is equal to child 3. If we print it out, it will be something like this. Child 1 is equal to name. See, there is a one curly bracket here, and then another curly bracket till in here. Okay, and this curly bracket ends here. See, this curly bracket ends. This first curly bracket ends in the end. So this entire is a dictionary. If you will type, if you write type after that my family, it will be showing that it's a dictionary. Okay, so if we print it out, what we get three dictionaries nested inside one dictionary. So this child 1 is a dictionary, child 2 is a dictionary, child 3 is a dictionary. Now the question is, how can we access that item? How will we do it? Suppose I want this value of this name parameter of this child 1. How will we do it? Just write in the command. I will wait for this because it's very important, and I'll explain each and every step. No one. Print my family 011. Tanishka, I told you it has keys, not values. Print child name. Again, Aman, that's wrong. It's okay, Tanishka, happens. Print my family child name. Any other? Print child. Try this. Okay, not try. You cannot type this much completely. Okay, let me give it to you. I'm giving it to you. Try this in your notebooks. I've given this here. Copy this. Try this in your notebook. How will you access child 1's name? My question is, how will you access child 1 name? This is my question. Let me come. Try this on your own. Have I sent it to private? Oh, I have sent this to privately. Sorry. Yes, it was a mistake. Let me send it to everyone. Yeah, try this. It is to everyone. Yes, try this. In your notebooks, try this and give me the answer. I will wait for this. 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever time it takes, I will wait for this. If you get this, it will be very easy to learn this. Print my family child name. I'm waiting for everyone's result. Let's see if they are able to access it or not. Then I will tell you which one is right, which one is wrong. You shall think harder. It's child 1. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Three answers till now. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, now I'm getting correct responses. Yes, it is correct. Vishal, you had earlier wrong, then you corrected it. Sanskar, you are using wrong syntax. I've just pointed out what you have done. Can you see this? Yes, this is correct. This is the correct syntax to access this item. That is, means all of you have given correct answers. My family. Then we will enter into the first. What it does. What this does. We have a my family parameter here. What we do it is like, let's try to do this. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. Oh, sorry, I have copied the wrong thing. Let's copy this and let's paste it here and let's print out. So what it is trying to do it here, understand this. First we are saying print my family. So it will search for my family. My family it got. Then in the after that there is square bracket named child. So it will search for this here entire as child one. Okay, it got a child one. So it will try to print out the value. It will try to print out the value, but after that this thing should be there. Why I'm pointing it out, this thing should be here. If we remove this, it will raise an error obviously. So it didn't find that after this child one. Otherwise if we remove this, let's say we remove this, what it will do, it will print out the entire dictionary. It will print out the entire dictionary. We didn't wanted that, so we put in another square parameter in the square bracket, that is name, and then we click then we end this. If we end this, now it will, what it will do, it will go inside the child and search for name, but it will not go inside child 2 and child 3 because we have already mentioned child 1. So it will go inside the child 1 dictionary and will search for the name and year. It will search for the name. So it will say search, it got the name, so it will took out the value of the name and will give us the result as email, whatever the name is. Okay, so we can do that for child 2 as well. The same result it will give. We will get Tobias here. If we will do for the child 3, so these are actually I have copied somewhere from the some websites. I have not written this much amount or given it to someone and they copied this code and created these things. So this is because of that we are using English and other names. So Linus, it gets printed out and others. So this is how you access any item into a nested dictionary. Nested dictionaries are very much common, too much used. Even dictionaries comes inside with the least, with the dictionary least inside the dictionaries also come. It is, there are probabilities like that. We will do that in the future versions where we will discuss that. Okay, so it print out this result. The second method that you should understand, currently what we did, we used directly the nested dictionary. Other there is another method. We could have defined first the child 1, then defined the child 2, then define the child 3 dictionary and put them one by one inside the my family. Let's do that actually here. We can do this by this. First we have defined a dictionary named the child 1. There is no two curly brackets here. Then we define the child 2 and there is another curly bracket and we have ended it here. So these programs end up here. Then we have defined child 3 and we have ended it here. Then after that what we did is my family is equal to child 1. We created a new parameter and put the entire dictionary, that is a, this is a variable, okay, variable, a type of dictionary variable. So we put that here. Then child 2 here. With this method you are easier to understand. We are merging all the dictionary to the nested dictionary. Then child 2 and the child 2 that was already defined here. There is no double 2 inverted commas here. Understand this. This is because of that we can we are able to do this. If we will put this like that, if we put it like this, then also it will call the inside the value and put it everything inside that value. Okay, because it is passing this dictionary parameter in here. Okay, these two things I hope you have understood. We again, to access this item, we have the same command, like using this child one parameter and the name parameter inside two square brackets, and that way we can get that. Now come to the various methods that we get. What will be the output of this? Let's add this something. What will be the output of this? That's a new command, obviously, but I just wanted to ask. I hope we start anything conditional or loop statements today. Key 10. It will be like this, that what we are doing is dictionary from keys method. We are first using this method where we are defining key 1, key 2, key 3. Then we are defining a value 0, and then we are doing that dict 1 will have. We are first time designing a dictionary and doing that dict method. Dot from keys is a dot from keys is a built-in function for dict method, and putting parameter, putting x and y. So what will happen is this is now we created into a dictionary where key 1 has a value 0, key 2 also has a value 0, key 3 also has a value 0. So this way we doesn't need to define the dictionary entirely. First we define it as this, and then we pass the value y into the value 1, and it creates a new dictionary and it gets printed out. Okay, now okay, let me remove this so that you can see what it is saying. The parameter dict from keys and values. There are two things. First, the keys are required and irretrievable specifying of the keys of a new dictionary item, and values are optional. The values of all keys, if we doesn't pass in anything here, so what will happen? The default value none will be passed to this for the key 1, key 2, key 3, and key 4, whatever the keys will be there. So by passing in a parameter, we put the value here, means the 0, this y value. If we pass in this y value, x is actually keys and y is actually values, as written here. You can see this keys is the values. Keys means x here turns out to be keys. Value is what? Y, whatever is written in the y. If we doesn't pass in anything here, what will happen? Key 1 will be will have a value none. Key 2 also will have a value none. Key 3 will also have a value 1. So by default, if you are not passing anything, it's also okay with that. It will not create an error, but will pass in the value none into it. Let's come to the next method. There are not various methods available. Let's come to the dictionary items method. It returns a dictionary in a key pair value. Okay, so like this cars is written here, brand Ford is written here, models and Mustang is written here, year 1964 is written here, and if we pass this car is what? Car is a dictionary. So car dot items, if we pass that, we will get the items like this, dictionary items as in tuples. You can see this this brand and Ford is inside a tuple, model and Mustang is inside a tuple, and year and 1964 is inside a tuple. So the items returns in a view object. You can view that this is one item, this is one item, this is one item. The view object contains a key and pair value of the dictionary as a tuple in a list. You can see that it doesn't now x is not a dictionary anymore. X doesn't returns an error. It's a list. It's a tuples inside list. Means 3 tuples. One tuple is this, one tuple is this, and another tuple is this, and it is inside a list. You can see this. It is inside the list. If you will say that, sir, there is another round bracket after that, this is because it is saying a parameter is getting passed, that is dictionary items. That's why this last round bracket is there. I think we have already done that, so it is giving us the output. You can see that dictionary items. Again, I will make you understand that we have defined a dictionary, that is car, and this is a dictionary because it's a curly bracket. It has a key and a pair values. Now what we do, we define a variable, and that variable consists of the dictionary name, and then uh, dot items, and what we doesn't pass anything inside the round brackets. It print out a tuples inside a list values. Okay, can we pass in some parameter here? Like, can we do this? Brand, why can't we do that? We just wanted a brand. We just wanted this much of tuple. You're saying no, Aditya. Possible. Okay, if you say so, try this. Sent you. Why I'm sending these now? You should, guys, sir, we should not parameters in it. Not possible. Okay, not possible. Why not possible? Why not possible is because we should understand that method. I have sent you in this. Why I keep on sending these? Because I want you to try it. I don't know how many of you actually try that. It takes no argument. Yes, it doesn't takes any argument because this is a built-in method. It will create items, takes no argument. Why I'm trying to make you do these? Because you should know how to read this error outputs and correct it yourself. Okay, that's why I'm making you do this again and again and again and again. So, okay, so that's why I'm passing that. It doesn't takes any argument. One is given. I'm making you prepared for the real world where you will do these kind of methods. Then you will say that what this error, what the hell is this error coming? It is a type error. There are name error. There are various types of error that comes. I'm just preparing you to understand those things. Yes, it is correct. We cannot pass in any parameter into it. Like, we cannot do anything into it, and then we will get our responses. Now, when an item in a dictionary changes value, the view object also get updated. Why we use this? Understand this. This is what the car parameter was. We put it inside a variable. Now we doesn't change anything into X. See, we are again passing that car year 2018 should be turned to 2018. Actually, here it was printing out 1964. Now we have changed the value of, after defining this X, we are changing the value of year from 1964 to 2018. And then even if we are printing this result, we are getting the output of year 2018. One thing, remember that earlier also I was talking about this. The using dictionary 1 is equal to dictionary 2. Dictionary 2 values automatically changes in spite of the fact when it was defined. We didn't define this X after this position. We defined it earlier. Practically the value of it shouldn't change, because this will change the value of this dictionary, but it automatically, this X automatically capture that changes and print out those results. This is the beauty of Python. You doesn't need to recall that argument. You doesn't need to do that. In the Python, you can automatically, on a global level, we can define the scopes. Okay, and it will automatically be reflected into that. We used to do that in functions and scopes concept when classes and others in C, but there was a local scope, there was a global scope. Here in the built-in functions, it comes with a global scope easily. Okay, so that's what the things are here. Now I think we are coming to the last 2 or 3 things in the dictionary. Again, I think not today. Again, we will not be able to start. Dictionary keys method. There is a car, we have defined that, and if we use dictionary keys only, what will happen? It will print out only the keys. It will print out only the keys. It is already done actually. Let me restart the kernel. You guys can see the output. Yes. Restart and clear output. Okay. So this keys method will actually print out the brands only, model only, and years only. It will not print out the values. Remember this, it will not print out the values. It is only printing out what? It is printing out the brands only. Here what it was a tuple. it was printing out what? By this one. It was printing out what? It was printing out as a tuple. You can see it with keys and values both. Now we just wanted the keys, so we tried this method where we get the keys only the brands, only the models, only the year thing. Again, remember this as the very same. Here it was two values, that's why we put it inside a tuple. It puts it inside a tuple and prints out in a list. But here it will print out just a list. If you try type, so what it will be? It will be list. Let's not diverge from there. Now this is another method that we should discuss. Python set default method. What it will do? Let me add some lines into after this. What it will do? Someone hurry up. Permanent. What do you mean by permanent? Change. Okay, it will change according to Aziz. Previous change, add models as a default default key and value. Okay, let me run this command. Change. No, it will not change. It will just print out the value whatever it is written inside the model. Mustang. Okay, Bronco is not there. If no values are given, it sets its default value. Yes, correctly. So it will why RN you have joining now. So it just print out the model value, that is Mustang. Let me remove this so that other notable points I may forget. I can show you. Now understand this. The set method returns the value of the item with a specific. I will actually have ask someone to do this so that whenever I will give you, you can return to the notes and understand the command better. The set default method returns the value of the item with the specified key. Returns what? The value of the item. Means model is there. It will check its value and it will return that value. Okay. If the key does not exist, insert the key with a specified value. See the example below. Okay, we will show that example. If this Bronco is not there, so it will insert that inside that thing. Now understand that what is the syntax? Dictionary dot set default method key name and value. Now parameter key name is required, the key name of the item you want to return the value from, and value is optional. If the key exists, this parameter has no effect. If the key does not exist, this value becomes the new key value. Understand this. This value will not have, this is a second parameter, it will not have any effect onto that. Okay, but if this this model actually exists in this, so this is the value, Bronco is the value, it will not change the value of it, rather than it will print out Mustang only. If this model doesn't used to exist, then what will happen? It will add another new key item. We will see in this last example, like here brand Ford, model Mustang, and year and 1964 is here. Now we use the set default method. What it will do? It will add a new key, that is color, another value of it as white. So it will return this white. It will return what? It will return just the white. If we print out car, so you can see the entire list has been upgraded, that now it has brand Ford, model Mustang, year 1964, and color is white. Does anyone have any issues understanding this much? Because we have reached to 4:15 again today. Is anyone having problems with any of the methods till now? Let me come back to the presentation. We have discussed these all methods. The clear method clears all the elements that is inside the dictionary. The copy method copies the first dictionary into the second dictionary, whatever be the argument, either the first copying second to the first or the first to the second, the same ways. From keys method returns a dictionary with specified keys and the values. Get is a method also by which we can get any item inside a from a dictionary by defining its key value. Okay, then items is another thing. Item returns a list. See, we are confirmly saying that items will return a list containing a tuple for each pair and value, means a tuples inside the list. Okay, and it will be returning a list finally, it not be returning a dictionary. Then keys method we discussed, and it also returns a list containing the dictionary keys value only. It doesn't have a tuple inside that. Okay, it only returns a list. It's not a tuple inside a dictionary, tuple inside a list. It returns a list that is containing the only the keys values. Then the next is the pop item method. It removes the element with a specified key. Okay, it removes the key elements with it removes the element with a specified key. A pop method we already say. Pop item method we also discussed. In the pop item method we discussed one small thing, that before the versions of Python 3.7, if you use the pop item method, it removes any random one after 3.7 or from 3.7 onwards. It removes the last item inserted. Set default method returns the value of the specified key. If the key doesn't exist, it inserts the new key with the specified value. Suppose we have a dictionary that has a brand, model, and year. We just discussed this brand, model, and year, and we define a new parameter that is color white. If we do the set default method, it will insert that into the dictionary, like having 4 keys and 4 values, and it will return the output of that added parameter, that is color white. Then there is a method update we mentioned, that it updates the value of the dictionary with a specified key pair value. That way we can also add into the dictionary. And that values method, where it returns all the values of the dictionary. These two things we didn't do it, remember that. Okay, means like dot keys method returns all the keys in the keys inside a dictionary. It returns all the values inside the dictionary. Just like keys it will work, it will again return a list. Okay, so that's the things that we have discussed, and I think we again have run short of the time. So anyone has any questions till now can ask, because now we have to actually study this if else statement, then we have to study for loop, while loop. We have a complete track for that. Let's come to that. Where are we standing right now? Let's go to the first ever classes of ours. Yes. On the very second we are here. On the very second we are here. We have discussed the variables, almost all. Now list and other things we have mentioned, tuples and everything we have mentioned. Loops and if else and elif statements are there. Logical operators we have done. Comparison operators we have done. It is on random, so do not go with that. We have done the arithmetic operation, code commenting, installation, and everything is done. How many of you doesn't have a computer? Are they trying that in Colab? Anjali, you are trying that in Colab or not? Technically, to be a good programmer, you should have a computer, not a laptop also, but a computer. When you try to purchase one, come to me. Means according to your budget, I will help you find out what a good laptop configuration is. Because eventually, like Ankush said, you have to reach to the level of deep learning. Means I am also a learner of a deep learning. He's in the second year. He's also learning. I passed out 10 years ago, but I am still learning. Okay, because the things actually evolved very late. Okay, it was not there, and we are not the ones who write some libraries. He was actually talking to me in the afternoon that, sir, can we write some libraries for this? Okay, yes, after this project we will be able to write a library inside. What a library is, we will go towards that. So those who doesn't have a laptop or a computer, I will ask them to actually get one, because it will be tough journey later on. Means from basic Python it's good, but later on you guys will have problem. And before purchasing a good laptop, means for in the range of yours, if you want, you can contact me. I will suggest you good laptops in that range, because it's very important. When we will come to the machine learning, means not in the classes, wherever you learn how, whatever, means if you join my other classes that we will start soon with, for that means I will start eventually in June the data science classes. Then we will start with the machine learning classes. Those who want to join can join in there by paying the fees and others. And we will reach till the level of deep learning. But for that, the computer will be required. Understand that just joining my classes will not increase your knowledge. Doing it at your home will increase your knowledge. So I can help you getting the correct one. Like I had a Mac laptop earlier. It was a MacBook Pro that I purchased in 2016 actually. And then when 8 months ago I started doing deep learning. Till that time I was only using machine learning algorithms. 8 months ago, and my laptop actually died, almost died while running those programs. Now I own another new Asus laptop I purchased in the Big Billion Sale, around I think 1,25,000 rupees. So now this laptop has a very good configuration that can work in the deep learning. I'm telling you, this is truthful. We need at least a 6 GB of DDR6, DDR5 RAM. I have a DDR5 NVIDIA RAM. I have a 32 GB of 32 GB of RAM, and then I have a Miss NVIDIA. I've already told you it should have a SSD to run the program softly, means a solid state drive, not only the hard disk. I have a 1 TB of SSD and 1 TB of SDD also. And to be very true, this is working perfectly till now. Okay, so the operational speeds are very important. Remember that operational speeds are very important in the computers. And whenever you are next purchasing it, according to your product, most probably I can suggest one. Let's come back to the topic that what we have discussed. Now this loops and if-else statement, I think I should cover it in one day. Next day, tomorrow, most probably. We have discussed the dictionary. Frequency tables I have skipped. The reason is that I will come to that in the JSON. Actually, I've discussed that, but not named that frequency table. I will come to this point actually, but after JSON. Then most probably we will go to functions. This all the combining functions, nested functions, calling functions, and another very important function that is there in the Python, that is lambda function. Hopefully this will complete by the weekend. We will do a revision also of all that I said, that will be in Hindi. Then we will define the OOPS concept, that is classes, adding methods in the classes, constructors, understanding.py file and IPYNB file, introducing you to the GitHub, and something about the Spider and a Visual Studio Code will also be there. And if the time is left, we will go with the guided project, and I will give you some like this Jupyter notebooks and others. I will give it to you. For the guided notebook, we need to understand the libraries and the pip commands and others. So hopefully you will be not doing with it, but seeing me do it. Okay, so we will do that. Hopefully in one day of time, we will do that. We will be using the word that Ankush used, that is NumPy and Pandas. These are data science concepts. I will not be explaining too much for that, because it's the entire 15 days or 30 days program. Understanding NumPys and Pandas are a big thing. And if you do understand it better, it's very easy to land a job in data science world. Means data accessing, data cleaning, data operations, doing the NumPys and Pandas, doing a static analysis, and you will land a job of file libraries eventually. But you need to be a good at it. I will not say lies to you. So anyone has any questions till now? Because we will not continue the 2-hour classes that we talked yesterday. I have a call actually at 4:40. So let's do that tomorrow maybe, or let's do that on Sunday, 1.5 hour another course. That's not it. So these all are missing. Dictionaries we have done. Frequency table we actually have done. We will discuss it more better when we discuss JSON. JSON is not written here, but I will discuss JSON actually after most probably classes and construction of Python. One more thing I wanted to show you. This is one thing that I have prepared you. 5 questions actually. I don't know how many questions. I have not written 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. This I have prepared for you. I will give you on Friday, not on Saturday, not on Thursday. I will give these questions to you. Today is Wednesday. I will not give it tomorrow. I will give it day after tomorrow. Since then, most probably we have completed the classes actually, means for while or if-else statements, something about functions also. So then I will give this to you, and your task will be to complete it before Sunday evening. Okay. and I cannot work overnight for you guys to check the results. I don't know why the participants has decreased. It's only 42 now. So okay, that's okay. That's not for me. You guys have paid already. So hopefully let's meet tomorrow then. Any other questions if anyone has? Vishal, you understood that concept that you asked earlier of strengths and least? Okay, fine. You have understood. Sir, please share the yesterday's and today's code. Yes. I will share the today's and the yesterday's. I have not shared this, so I will be sharing. I will be sharing this basic command installation, list, then to, then this dictionary, not ifels, not loops, then sets commands, then this tuples command, and this dictionary that I have already mentioned. These I will share one by one today. Right now I will do that. Any other questions? If not, then tata bye bye. Okay. Wait for one more minute if no one has questions. Okay. Okay. Bye bye. Everyone, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will learn about, I think, if-else statement first, then loops. It will be a short one. In one day, we will try to cover both. Okay. Means while loop and the for loop. Sure. See you tomorrow.